Hey guys, it's RX here and welcome back to my channel. We are finally back with another keyboard review, and I know I'm a bit late for this keyboard and I have been saying this for quite a while now on my outro videos, but here we are. In today's video, we have here the Monsgeek M2, a budget 1800 compact and south-facing aluminum barebone keyboard. By the way, a disclaimer that the board was sent for review by Akko, but I wasn't paid to make the video, so of course, I'll give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the M2. I'll link all of Monsgeek and Akko's link on the description down below. A quick background about the board first. This is another budget board from Monsgeek following the M1, which was a 75% board. The M2, as mentioned, is 1800 layout for more productivity, as this includes a numpad on the right side corner. Barebones would cost you around $109, which is really good for the price, as this is a full aluminum gasket board with a hot swap south-facing PCB. Now let's go ahead and unbox and see what we'll get out of the box. Of course, we have the manual here, and I really do suggest reading it if this would be your first time building a board. We have a coiled USB cable, set of extra screws, and also it comes in with a set of Akko stabs, which I already placed on the board during this filming. Now let's take a closer look at the board. They sent us the black aluminum case with a polycarbonate plate, and I'm not really a fan of like a big bezel boards, but it looks decent on this layout. It does give that chunky vibes to it, and I think it really fits an 1800 layout. It also has some subtle chamfer corners, and checking out the back, it does have a small debossed Monsgeek logo. One thing that I find interesting about the design of the board would be the side profile, as it has a nice silver accent piece that is also made out of aluminum, which they also had on the M1. Now I believe there would be an option to buy it separately with some different accent colors, which is really nice. And looking at the USB port, it is placed far on the left side corner, which I kinda prefer ports being on the middle of the board. Looking at the aluminum finish on the board, it's actually decent and it's smooth, and I didn't feel any rough texture to it. Now let's go ahead and disassemble the board. Now the board has 10 screws in total. Now just lift the top cover and lift the PCB and plate slowly to not damage the JST cable. As you can see, the silicone gaskets are like those gasket sleeves that are located on the plate already. On the case, it has the PCB foam and a bit of a thin case foam. Now, there's also this extra layer on the bottom case for extra protection on the PCB. The accents on the side profile are easily removable as well. Now, building the board, we'll be using the stock Akko stabs that was included. And for the switches, we'll be using the Akko piano linear switches. And for the keycaps, Akko has also sent one of their new ABS double shot cherry profile keycaps called the Mars Green. Now I actually like this newer version or the newer mold that they had, because the legends are much crispier than before and has that nice smooth texture to it. I also paired it up with this Voyager desk mat by Alpha Unlimited to fit the Mars Green keycap. And now, here's the final look for our Monsgeek M2. And with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the Monsgeek M2. And that was the sound test on the Monsgeek M2. Please do let me know on what you think about the board on the comment section down below, and let's have some quick discussion. I would love to answer your comments, and also if you made it up to this point of the video, I'd like to say thank you for staying. And now let's talk about my thoughts and opinion about the board. First, the layout and the design. The design is very simple, nothing too over the top that would have added the cost of the board. And I like the side profile considering how heavy it is. You can easily lift the board just by holding the side profile. Also, I kinda wish they use a light diffuser on the sides instead of the accent piece, and would be nice to see that in their future designs if ever. Now, the form factor. I can see the appeal for beginners because most of them, they still need a numpad and the F-row keys, and not to mention, this is still compact and of course adds more productivity. Now, talking about my thoughts on the feel, well, it wasn't that flexy and bouncy as I thought it would be. But to be fair, since the PCB has no flex cut, you can't really expect too much. Now, it is indeed stiff, but not to the point that you'll get bothered from it. The PC plate is still nice as it somehow still gives a bit of a softer bottom out when typing. I can say that this works for me, or this works fine for me, as the typing feel is still decent and it is enjoyable. Now let's move on to my thoughts on the sound. Well, it actually sounds a bit better than I thought it would be. The board sounds full, and considering that I use all the plate foams or the foams, it didn't sound that foamy to me, and although I can hear some slight case ping, it can be easily removed by adding a force break mod. I actually expected it to be a bit more hollow considering how big the board is, but again, for what it's worth, it surprisingly sounds decent enough for a $100 board. Overall, as mentioned, I can really see the target market for this board. It's for those who wants to try a custom mechanical keyboard without compromising the things they need for productivity on a daily, which is the numpad and the F-row keys. I can say if you don't really need this layout or the form factor, you're not really missing out. It's more so for the beginners out there or for someone who needs that extra numpad on the side for productivity purposes. I can say that the price is okay and somehow justifiable considering the layout that you would get. Again, this feels and sounds really decent for a $109 board. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the review for the Monsgeek M2, and I really hope you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to like the video and of course comment your own opinion below as it helps out my channel grow. What's next? Well, we have 2 more keyboards to review and some new switches to try, so please stay tuned for that. Again, please don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.